So the Western world, and more specifically the Americas, in the past 600 years has become extremely obsessed with the concept of skin color. And as a result, they've taught the rest of the world to also become overly obsessed with skin color. Now, starting as early as the 1400s, you've had European colonizers, slave traders, and also travelers come in contact with others of distinct skin complexion, and they have marveled at what they have encountered. And so what they felt is that they had a need to classify people according to skin color. But in the process, it appears that they started inaccurately describing the skin color of people. And this could be for a variety of reasons. Maybe they were high on drugs. Maybe they were hallucinating. Maybe they were doing it on purpose. Or maybe they were just not properly educated on the topic of colors, right? It could be any one of these reasons, or it could be a combination of any of these reasons. But the fact remains is that they began imagining that they were seeing people that were not really there. And so they began imagining that they saw all these people who had black skin. And they also began imagining that themselves, they had white skin, right? And so these purely imaginative descriptions of the skin color of various people throughout the world somehow crept its way into the modern world. And you have people today in the modern world who also share these same inaccurate descriptions of the skin color of other people, right? And so for this reason, I find it very necessary to provide a very introductory lesson on skin color with the hopes that we can awaken from the hallucinations and the exaggerations of the travelers, the slave traders, and the colonizers of the past, right? So let's get started right now with the color black, right? And so for some time now, people have been convinced that they have actually had encounters with people that have black skin. And that black skin is everywhere to be found. And interestingly enough, we also have people who now identify as black, who also believe themselves to have black skin, right? And this is contrary to the education that has been taught in preschool and in kindergarten, which teaches us otherwise. And so a quick experiment that anyone out there could do, all you have to do is find the nearest person who believes themselves to have black skin, or who you believe to have black skin. You can just go up to them and you can observe for yourself. And in this process, you awaken to a great revelation, which shook me to the core when I first discovered it. And that is that none of the people have the black skin that they have been imagining themselves to have, but rather they have a skin color of different shades of brown. So for example, we have somebody like Wesley Snipes, who has a skin color which is a very rich brown. And somehow people have convinced themselves that this rich brown is the same as the color black. Now look at this picture that we have here on the screen. You can see that his hair is the color of black. But when you move down towards his skin color, you see that there's a stark difference between his skin color, which is a rich brown, and his hair, which is black. Two different colors, easily distinguishable. Now let's look at his glasses. You can see that these are clearly the color black. Look at the glasses, which are black. Look at the color of his skin, which is rich brown. Two distinct colors. One is brown, one is black. Look at the bow tie. We can see that the bow tie is absolutely black, right? It is what black is as the color. Take a look at that, and now look at his skin color. That's a brown skin color. Now, black is a phenomenal color. It's one of my favorite colors. But that doesn't mean that I start taking all the things that are brown and start calling them black. If I start seeing things in the physical world that are brown and I start claiming that they're black, that means I must be hallucinating. Right? I'm seeing things that are not really there. Now, referring back to Wesley Snipes, people make jokes about how jet black he's supposed to be. But no matter how jet black someone wants to imagine that Wesley Snipes is, it doesn't change the fact that the skin color that he has is not black. Right? That's a brown skin color. Right? And when I came to this realization years ago, it was a profound realization. Right? I had stopped hallucinating and I had stopped sleepwalking. Right? My vision became clear. I began to see things for what they were. Right? Wesley Snipes doesn't have black skin. He has brown skin. Akon is another example. Right? And people imagine Akon to be a super black person. They imagine that he has the blackest skin on earth. They can't imagine something to be blacker than Akon. Right? And so when they reference his skin color, they make jokes about how Akon's skin is so black that it could blend in with the night. And when we look at the skin of Akon, we see that this is clearly not true, right? Because we can see here that he has a jacket on that is black. As we move our vision over to his actual skin color, we can see that that is a brown. Rich, smooth brown skin color, right? This is clear, isn't it? Super clear. We can all see this. Now, what I want you to do is take a look at this picture right here. This is what someone would look like if they had actual black skin. Not imagined black skin or rich brown skin that someone's trying to make black skin, but real black skin. This is what it would look like. Now, we can clearly see the difference between this and this, right? And so now that we've dealt with the myth of the black skin, we're going to move on over to the myth of the white skin, because we haven't forgotten about them either, right? They don't get a pass. They've also been hallucinating, right? And so similarly to the black skin myth, there's a pervasive myth going around the world with people claiming that they have been seeing people walking around the earth with white skin, right? And they've come to actually believe these accounts. And these myths can be easily disproven by doing the same method that we use for the people with the black skin myth. All we have to do is use our good set of eyes, go out there and observe anyone who's claiming that they have white skin, look at their skin color, and what we see will be an absolute revelation to ourselves, right? A deep mystery will be unveiled in that encounter. What we'll see is that people do not have the white skin color that they imagine themselves to have, but instead they have a skin color that could be described as a pinkish cream type of color, maybe like a yellowish pinkish type of color. You read in some dictionaries that describe it, they call it a flesh color. But we're not going to describe it as a flesh color because that can be used as a derogatory term, and that's not the purpose of this, right? We're not trying to spread derogatory terms and saying one color is better than the other. All that stuff is foolishness. Each of the colors are unique, they're special, right? And they all have their own beauty, right? All of them, all the spectrums of the human color in the human family, right? And the people who believe themselves to have white skin, they have these variety of skin colors, right? From all these different shades in there, all these skin tones, except for the color that they imagine themselves to have, which is white, right? That color they don't have, right? No one in the human family walks around with that skin color, just like no one in the human family walks around with a black skin color, right? And this is regardless of how many people want to imagine this to be true. So, for example, we can see this picture right here, right? We see the picture of this lady here, and we can see what it looks like for one part of her to show the skin color that she actually have, which is like a pinkish, creamish type of color, right? We can see that. And on the other half of her face, we see what it looks like if someone were to be actually a white-skinned person, right? And to my knowledge, I've never seen anyone who has that skin color who looks like that. And we can see a clear difference between this side and this side. The pinkish cream type of color and the white color. Clear difference, right, between the two. And this is no matter how many myths have been created or how bad someone wants to imagine it otherwise. The reality of the situation is that this color is white and this color is not, right? And I think this is becoming more clearer and clearer to us who are watching and looking at it for what it actually is, right? Very clear and very elementary stuff, right? And so when we do our field work and we go out and observe for ourselves and take a look at the situation and find out what it is for what it is, what we find is that we don't find anyone in the natural world walking around with the black or the white skin. And these myths of the black and the white skinned have to be categorized with other myths such as Bigfoot, Leviathan, Chupacabras, vampires, and werewolves. Okay, but if anyone else has discovered otherwise, right, I'd be happy to change my mind on the subject. But of the thousands upon thousands of people that I've seen who are claiming that they have either black or white skin, I've never seen anyone who actually has black or white skin. But what I have found is that the accounts of people who tend to make these claims tend to be purely imaginative, right, and not based on any observable truth, right? And so what I want to do is encourage you to go out and see for yourself. Go do some field work. Go out and look. Go out and talk to people, right? Ask them why it is that they believe that they have these certain skin colors, right? And what we'll discover is that these myths of these traveler tales and folklore run wild and pervasive throughout the society, right? And it gives us something to think about, okay? So I want to thank you for watching all the way until the end. My name is Brooklyn St. Michael, and I'll see you on the next one.